Today we're working on Lenovo Thinkpad X1, which you can see before we repaired the hinges, so probably a year ago. Hinges are still strong, and this is what we see with this type of repairs. It is a painful repair, but it lasts, and more important these days is to have a reliable machine rather than fancy machine. But this is not the reason why this machine came to us this time. Actually, it's not charging. And if you see how floppy this USBc charging port is, it's not in. The other one, it wasn't initiating. This one seems like it's charging under this angle, but if we move it a little bit, customer says that it stops charging. Somewhere here, it stops charging. So yeah, basically we need to repair the USBc ports. It's a common problem with new generation Lenovo's and HP's absolutely crappy USBc ports, which caused them to get damaged pretty quickly. So let's take it apart. Inside we disconnected the battery, so now it's safe to work on. You can see the USBc ports are just underneath here on the other side of the board, and they are physically soldered onto the PCB board. So they're not on a socket, which makes them much harder to replace. Let's take out this board now. What Lenovo did is they placed the USB-A port on this beautiful socket where when it breaks it can be replaced just by removing the socket, but they didn't invest time in doing it for the part which breaks, I don't know, 100 times more often. Look at the beauty of this socket. So you can just take it out and swap it with a new one. And clearly they can do it. It just needs some kind of breakout board, but they're not interested. This way, when the USB-C port breaks and it costs you about $500 Australian dollars to repair, because it's electronic level repair, people might just opt in to buy a new Lenovo, which is better for the company as they can make more sales. Alright, so we have the board out. And here are the USB-C ports. Okay, so we peeled out that black protection tape. Let's have a look under the microscope. So we're dealing with these two USB-C ports, which both needs to be replaced. Hopefully, damaged port inside, short-circuited or crossed lines inside of that USB-C port didn't blow this USB-C charging circuit, because I don't believe we have it in stock ready to go. Yeah, so let's go ahead and remove and replace this part here. Alright, let's apply some flux. Let's get that first part out. Because we're using preheater, it should be easier to pull it out, because the whole board gets warmed up. They usually apply a small amount of glue just underneath the port. You can see that black dot there, which is supposed to hold it. I can see it down here, but yeah, it's such a small amount that it doesn't really do anything. So this is the USB-C port which got damaged. Let's have a look under the microscope. Sorry about the potato quality, but yeah, we can see the edge of the socket is damaged. That edge there on the right. So probably that's what's happening. Hopefully these two pins, the top one and bottom one, didn't short and didn't blow the charging IC. Right, let's replace this baby. Okay, so we wanna soften this solder here, which is we need higher temperature. That's it, about 370. Need to remove this little glue here, if it's visible. Scrape it out. It's absolutely useless. That's it. Right, let's wick the area so we can get rid of that excess solder. I need more power. 450 degrees. Okay, and now let's apply fresh solder. I knocked off two caps there, but we will put them back. That's it. Yep. Beautiful. Problem with Lenovo laptops is that they have thousands of different USB sockets. So you can see slightly the difference. The one which we got now has slightly longer legs down here, which should be alright because it is on the same part. There you go. Alright, let's solder it. Because we're using a lower temperature solder, now it should melt much faster. There you go, it's going in and it's in the socket. Let's wait for it to cool down a bit. And now we need to reposition those two capacitors which we pushed around by accident. So let's put them back, align them. There we go. Come out and around. Okay, there. Let's make sure that the USB-C socket is all the way in. It is. And that's it. Okay, let's test it. Wow, straight away. 20,056, which is the turning on current. Because we don't have a battery, it doesn't jump to AMP02 to charge it. So pretty much we are in. I can feel the heatsink is getting warm. And if we move the socket, it doesn't disconnect. So now, unlike Lenovo, we will apply some extra protection and glue around it, which will hold it much stronger than factory. So we tested the socket, we know that it's working. Now we can solder these bits. So these ones are the little legs. So we're using a USBc socket, which actually has a longer legs that allows for the USB socket to hold tightly to the PCB board. I'll show you now under the microscope the difference between the job we do and the job which factory does. So if you look here, so this one's our sockets. You can see how they completely penetrate through the PCB board, and this is Lenovo's USB socket. See, they don't even reach the other side of the board for that sturdy hold. If we look under the, there you go, you can see a bit more clearly the difference between the ones which we use and the ones which the factory uses. So we're gonna go and replace this socket as well, so we know that it's gonna be reliable repair, not just a quick patch up, because we wanna do it properly. All right, let's get to it. So let's remove the second socket. Although nothing much is wrong with it, we notice that when it's a bit pushed on the angle, it loses connection. See how finicky it is, even just here. I didn't completely melted it yet, and it starts moving. And it's out. Crappy Lenovo rubbish. Alright, let's scrape that glue piece there, a little bit of heat. How Lenovo can rely on little drop of glue to hold this whole thing together. Let's apply some flux. Get some lead solder on it. And we should be ready. Just plant obsolescence. This design intentionally is made like this. So after 2 years, people's sockets starts breaking, and they would just chuck the whole machine away because they think that it's expensive to repair the socket. What people don't realize is that it's not expensive because we are greedy for the and overcharging. It's a complicated job. It's not simple. Remove 5 screws, put a new socket, and screw back. It's designed to be expensive to repair. Lenovo would replace the whole logic board, which is horrible. Not to mention that something like this voids your warranty straight away, even if it's under warranty, because it's considered as user error or accident, which is obviously not. They're just bad design. Alright, so we clean this. Let's apply some solder into those socket contacts. There we go. And we are ready to accommodate our new socket. I need to order more of these because more and more Lenovo's I'm getting with this problem. And this socket, after so much trial and errors, managed to find one which is kinda universal. Alright, so let's get it in. Okay, we're in. And let's hold until it cools down a bit. And we should be good. Let's go to our rapid cooling. Okay, let's do our test. The board is cool enough. So go back to the first socket which we replaced. All happy, other way around. All happy. Perfect. Other way around. That's it. So let's solder it from underneath here and touch both points and apply some extra glue. Okay, so this new flux which we're using is not that tacky, it's a bit more greasy and liquidy. It's more fluxy than rosiny actually. Seems like it has more flux inside than rosin, which yeah, just makes it a little bit more different to solder. I assume we just need to get used to it. Alright, so let's clean this flux. We don't want it to create any oxidation if it's left over on the board, and most importantly it will prevent additional glue to stick into any surface because it's quite, yeah, basically being flux. It should be good enough. Okay, so let's prepare the area for the glue. Right. Okay, let's apply some on the side. Yeah, you can see how it leaks through the other side. So we just want it to go underneath. And we're ready. So we apply the glue underneath. And it will cure when it's inside of the chassis. Beautiful. Alright, let's get the board in. But first we need to put this LED, just like a light extender, so the light can be visible on the side. So let's put that one in. Or maybe we'll just clip it down here. Where is it? Down here. It keeps moving. There you go. Alright, this one goes on top. Alright, so didn't want it to bore you with most of the cable connections. So let's get the last screws in. Okay. Let's get the battery in. Battery screws. Let's test. Stable. Stable. Exactly what we wanted. Okay. There we have a fully charging machine at, there you go, at almost 1 amp. So 1.1, we connect to the other socket. .1 as well. And here it is. Thank you guys for watching. Another repaired Lenovo laptop, which came with a broken USB-C charging port. Basically, it wasn't charging and was draining the battery, and it stopped turning on. This is on the bottom socket. The top socket was kind of okay when it's wiggled on the particular angle. It was charging, which is an absolutely common thing to see with this Lenovo and HP laptops based on a USB-C connectors. But now you can see it's charging as expected, and everything else works great. Perhaps the moral of the story is be very careful with these USB-C sockets. They're very sensitive and breaks for really no reasons. If they stop charging and you need this service, let us know. We're based in South Australia. We're here to help. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this type of content, please subscribe and like this video. And if you want to see more content like this, yeah, follow us on our social medias. If you need the service, you know where to find us. Take care.